All right, let's call to order the planning board zone of adjustment for Flemington Borough for this Tuesday, October 28th, 2025. Open. This in-person and virtual meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act. Both adequate and electronic notice of this in-person and virtual meeting has been provided by way of publication in the Huntingdon County Democrat and Courier News newspapers on or about January 23rd, 2025 and January 19th, 2025. In addition, notice of the meeting was posted along the door of the Borough of Flemington Municipal Building located at 38 Park Avenue and any handicapped accessible entrances thereto, posted on the municipal website, provided to the municipal clerk and distributed to all persons, if any, requesting copies of the same. This meeting is being recorded with both audio and video and may be rebroadcast. This meeting is a judicial proceeding. Any questions or comments must be limited to the issues that are relevant to what the board may legally consider in reaching a decision. And decorum, appropriate to a judicial hearing, must be maintained at all times. All right, please rise as you're able for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, can we have the roll call, please?
Sure. Mayor Crown?
Here.
Councilwoman Fasara?
Here.
Mr. Campion?
Here.
Ms. Weitzman?
Here.
Wendell? Here. Mr. Joe? Dennis?
Joe. Here.
Mr. Schlinger?
Here.
Mr. Dashner?
Present.
Mr. Eckel?
Here. Here.
Mr. Barker? Okay, Tony Kaczynski?
Here.
Engineer Clerical?
Excused. Yeah. Excellent. All right, let's move on with the agenda. Item 1 is the period for public comment for things not currently on the agenda. There's nobody in the room. Anybody online have a comment? I don't see any members of the public, so assuming none, let's move on to item 2, mayor comments.
Do you want to scroll down on the top
What am I doing there?
to make sure there's nobody in the public?
Well, I can see
Yeah, but
more than that.
Yeah, but it goes all the way down.
No, she had it.
I can see
It's
all
on your
here.
hand? Okay,
There is nobody.
okay, just wanna make sure.
Yeah, no problem. All right, item 2, mayor comments,
Okay.
please.
So I just want to update the planning board on the continuance of the zoning ordinance issue on 2025-21. So as you all are aware, the council passed the original ordinance by a vote of 4-2, with council members Long and Fasaro voting against the ordinance. And I should say, in spite of several dozen members of the public, residents and voters in this town coming out in opposition to the housing elements and to the parking lot bulk rate standard changes, it was passed 4-2. I did submit a line item veto the following week, vetoing out those housing elements and vetoing out the bulk rate standard changes and the allowance to build additional buildings in what Susan Engelhardt calls infill areas, meaning parking lots like at Newmarket. That came up for vote at our last meeting 2 weeks ago. And again, in spite of about a dozen members of the public coming in support of the veto, it failed to sustain by a vote of 4-2, again with council members Fasaro and Long voting to sustain the veto. Now, there were 2 items that were changed on the fly in public. One was Councilwoman Engelhardt removed the Main Street first floor apartments and buildings facing Main Street. So if they have a side door, it would still be allowed, which is currently allowed, between Kapner and Mine Street in DB. that was not removed in the DP2. So it was removed on, in the downtown, that there would not be apartments on the first floor. At the last minute, she also removed the section under the bulk rate standards on additional building heights between 50 feet and 20-foot setbacks. She removed it going down from 40 feet to 35. And it was confusing when it happened. The members, everybody was confused about what was going on. And again, as I said, it passed 4-2. After getting home and reviewing what she actually had done, which was to maintain a 3-story height up to a 20-foot setback along Park Avenue residential neighborhoods, perhaps, or any other residential neighborhoods, which was purposely written in by Beth McManus. She addressed the council about this and said that it was going to go from 40 to 35 on purpose because most of the housing units that abut any of these backyard parking lots are 2-story, homes, and this would, quote, soften it. I wrote to the councilwoman and copied the council and asked her if she was going to put in an amendment that I assumed it was a mistake. I never heard back from her. Councilman Long called me and asked me about putting an amendment. So at his request, Jim Kyle did do an amendment, putting back the 35 feet to soften that. At least it makes a horrible situation a little bit better for the residents if this ever comes to fruition. So that was introduced last night because it is an ordinance change. It passed 5-1 last night. Councilwoman Engelhardt voted no in principle because she didn't like some of the wording in one of the whereas clauses, that it was gonna be, it was stopping something that was, I can't remember the wording, detrimental or something like that. Everybody else, our attorney told the council that because it's a whereas clause, he had no trouble with amending that at the public hearing, that they couldn't do it last night, but they could do it at the public hearing because it wasn't substantive. So everybody else was willing to vote for it and put it back. Etc. So it was a 5-1 vote. And there will be a public hearing on November 10th regarding establishing that back again. Again, in case it ever comes to fruition, it will help alleviate, a higher building up against small residential homes and their setbacks, on Park Avenue or I don't know where else, Spring Street. I guess, the Dietz building has a big parking lot. Those are tiny houses further down the road as well. Up to Mine Street, there are other parcels, I'm sure that could do this, including the post office, which is a privately owned building now. It's not a federal building anymore. So I just wanted to update you on that, and that's where things are at this point. The whole thing is just so disheartening to me that this planning board has been accused of being political. The governing body has been accused of being political about this, and so many people came out in opposition to all of this, and the majority of the council members read canned speeches that they had written that started out by saying, "I listened to everything you said," and they were all pre-written statements, and it's just very, very disheartening. I'm sure some of the council members are going to listen to this meeting after it's posted on Zoom, and these are the facts, and you can all watch these meeting yourselves and see if I'm misrepresenting any of it. So I just wanted to bring you up to speed, and I have requested tonight to have a brief executive session to also update you all on some movement regarding the sign on the circle. So that's it.
Thank you. I tried to speak for us at the previous meeting of council on your behalf to try and explain. I don't know if I think we discussed it, but one of my concerns on all of your behalf, and also frankly, everybody involved in the situation, is how unusual it is for a council to go ahead when we've produced a report that substantially says certain parts of it. Of course, there's a lot of it, of the ordinance that we agree with, that's really positive.
But what
But
is,
substantially incomplete, to go ahead on that basis, and they may have covered themselves under the, legal requirements of saying that they explained why they did this, although one of my concerns, certainly for certain members, is that when asked, what is the actual positive benefit of doing this? The answer was, I don't know, I just don't know.
I don't have a crystal ball.
I don't know, I don't have a crystal ball. I thought that was why we did all this planning stuff, to think about it and
Why
to
not
think
do-
ahead about it. So there was no answer, so I'm not even sure. I hope that we've,
Right,
because I'm worried for the town. If, basically this town has just decided that the council has put forward an ordinance that the planning board says is substantially incomplete and gone ahead with it, no matter what. And it's just not the
Well,
right way to go.
one of the other things is that there was an insistence again last night, I mean, this is said at least 6 times in public, that the planning board never submitted comments, and there was an opportunity to put in comments, and they moved forward because we never did, and like, there's just such a lack of understanding of the law that a subcommittee of the planning board cannot submit comments on behalf of the planning board. Only the planning board can, and that we did not have a meeting in time to do that. And they were not willing to wait.
And we had 8 days from when they gave us the
Right.
draft ordinance
Right.
that they had been working on for 7 or 8 months. So had we been involved in a discussion moving all those months, they could have understood those comments. Yes, I'm really frustrated with the accusations that have been made by council, including saying we submitted our ordinance last year in November, which was not true.
No.
Um, all sorts of nonsense, and the fact that we didn't reach out to businesses when, as soon as I found out when we introduced that ordinance, we had a meeting with the FCP and council people, and then I asked Beth to be involved in a meeting on our behalf with all of the landlords that were concerned and the business people that were concerned. So it's very frustrating having what we do try to be misrepresented and turned around as something that was, just very, very frustrating on a personal level and on your behalf. So I did try to say something. I know Dennis spoke very well as well. Both times. Appreciate that, Dennis. Unfortunately, everybody who spoke against just having a pause for those items that were of concern. Nobody was saying to have the whole thing stopped. Just to have a pause and rethink those things. But for some reason, that's their choice. They chose to go ahead against all the professional advice and lots of people saying they didn't want them to go ahead. So there we are. It is what it is, I guess, at this point, unfortunately, and we shall see what falls out of it for everybody. But I'm certainly concerned for the precedent if this is the way the council is going to run things. There's supposed to be a check and balance system. That's what we are, to help, and that worries me as a resident, frankly. Never mind just the position we're in right now. Anyway, that's all I need to say. Item 3, council comments. I'm guessing it might be similar.
Actually, it'll be a bit different.
Okay.
So we have the bylaw committee
Oh, yes.
has now met twice. We will be meeting again on Wednesday evening. Melissa is leading the charge and keeping us organized and focused. A few things that have already been brought up have been, one thing, we found roles that are part of the body, such as secretary up here, that somehow made it through the 2022 bylaw review. I don't think since I've lived here, there's been
2023 was the last.
2023.
You
so-
mean that one of the planning board can be secretary?
Yeah,
I think that comes straight from MLUL though, that like that technically that's what can happen.
so we want,
Now, in reality, I know, I did it for 6 months, it's an absolute nightmare.
So,
But it
but
can be that way, I think, so we might so just double check that with Carla.
so Kara will be joining our meeting hopefully tomorrow night to go through some of the items that we've gone through. We said, well, how is this different, Carla? And that opened up a whole new discussion, so it's not just the format, a little bit of change in how we go through the meeting to make it make more sense to what we actually do here. So I don't think we're gonna finish tomorrow, Melissa. Maybe it might take a few more meetings. No, well, we were going along really great.
Yeah.
Don joined the call last week, so that and he's trying to sell us on great things, really good ideas. So
Alright,
so that's it. That's it. It's coming along nicely, and I think thus far you're all going to be pleased, especially with how late we're going to allow new business, or we're suggesting we should allow.
How long we're gonna stop the business?
Yes.
I've been trying to run that way anyway, but yeah, I appreciate that, so we
That's it,
wanna,
thank
if you
you.
wanna get this, we'll be ready to like vote on this, and this does not need public hearings and things, this is a majority vote of this planning board, so, but we just need to make sure we get it in on that,
Karen, if I may, real quickly, Councilwoman Fasaro, I do have Kim, checking to see if she can turn that PDF into a Word format for you.
I
So she'll,
sent you that email. Thank you very much.
no problem. She'll try and do that in the morning. She's usually pretty good, but you know, she'll give it a shot to see how well it can go.
Okay, great, thank you.
No problem.
yeah.
We need the root Word document, and no one can find it, so
Oh, you need
we
to
need
get
to
the
change
PDF
it
into Word.
because it's too difficult. Melissa's trying to write all these notes in it. It's just not, it's easier if we can just make the changes.
No, we can do that.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can. Excellent, thank you, appreciate that, is that all? Alright, item 4, Dennis, this is you up now, HPC comments, please, I know you have some interesting comments for us today.
Yeah, we had a meeting October 15th. We had a few items. One, Kim Tilly has been added to the HPC. We're glad to have her on the HPC. We approved a porch and roof refurbishment at 30 Mine Street, and we approved an extension in the rear of the property at 67 Bunnell Street. My understanding, the certified local government ordinance change is gonna have a public hearing, I believe, at the next Borough Council meeting.
November 10, yes.
Okay, and then just a reminder, let us know when the planning board wants to go over the historic district changes because of Courthouse Square. Remember, we said we'd eventually fit it in when we have a shorter agenda. There's no rush, but that was to just go over the changes because some of the buildings have been demolished for Courthouse Square.
So this is your list of buildings that are
Yeah.
in the district officially, we have to strike some out.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
What
right.
steps do we need to do that? Do we can, does that need public hearing because we're changing the district? I remember talking about it, I'm sorry, I can't remember what we said it needed to happen.
I don't remember that it needed a public hearing. I thought it was just to go over the recommendation, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, if we're just going over recommendations, that doesn't need a public hearing, but if we are going to change the boundaries of the district or anything else like that, classifications, et cetera, then that will need a public hearing.
I don't
Yeah,
believe
it's not
boundaries,
changing the
it-
boundaries, but there are some buildings that were listed that now are demolished, so it's taken them off, as a property, but not changing the boundaries at all and not making something significantly historic if it
Change
wasn't
the
before.
classification or anything,
No,
okay.
no.
Let me see just to make sure, but it sounds to me by what you're saying that, we're basically just doing an update and taking off of the register any buildings that no longer exist.
Right,
Yeah,
that's correct.
right, excellent. Alright, okay, is that all the comments, Dennis, from HPC?
That's it, yes.
Thank you. Item 5, professional reports then. Cara, you're the only one here. Have you got anything that's not on the agenda?
I know that we are going to go into executive session, as the mayor indicated, to get an update on pending litigation involving the Flemington Circle sign. The only other thing I will say is we've had some discussions about outdoor dining, specifically requests of Lone Eagle to possibly allow for some outdoor dining in certain parking areas. There were questions concerning ownership and the boundary lines of ownership with regard to the parking spaces, easements, etc. I did pull all of the easements relative to those lots, and I did provide them to Mr. King so he could take a look at them. So he may very well be coming back with some request of the borough and or the board. But so far, everything that we need to do at this point, or really can do at this point, we've done. It's in his hands, so we'll see what happens.
Right, well, thanks to you and the other professionals moving that forward for that business for us, appreciate that. All right, item 6, approval of minutes, the August 12 minutes. They went out, did they go out tonight? Did I miss? Yeah, I saw them go out.
I don't have a chance to read 4 hours.
Did you have fun? Did you have fun? All right, all right.
Well, my work.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes? of
Sorry,
August 12?
Second.
Councilwoman Fasora,
Yes.
Mr. Schlinger,
Yes.
Mayor Carroll,
Going to abstain because I didn't have time to read them.
okay. Mr. Campion,
Abstain.
Ms. Weitzman,
Yes.
Mr. Show,
Yes.
Mr. Dashna,
Yes.
Greco,
Yes.
Mr. Hain,
Yes.
That's it. Thanks,
Ms. Gift.
Yes. No, you didn't. Get me all the time. You didn't ask me on roll call either, but. Oh, Miss Swindle.
Yeah.
Miss Swindle.
Miss Winkle?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I go down my list, so I must just.
Sorry, we're just, I don't know. All right, thank you. We're moving ahead with that next item. Item 7, public hearing for the car wash is adjourned. Do I have to say, it's adjourned to the next possible meeting, but we haven't set a date with them, is that correct? I don't have anything from
Right.
Bob.
Yeah, so they actually sent in, and I don't know if everybody had a chance to take a look at it. They sent in a recent request, I want to say either late last night or early this morning. They now want to be pushed to one of the December meetings, whether
Okay.
it's December 9th or December 16th, just to afford them enough time to make sure they have everything before the board and not push it to the next meeting and then have to ask for another adjournment. So we do have an extension of time to do the hearing through the end of this year. So, I mean, it's really up to the board. I don't know what our schedule looks like for those 2 meetings. So we've got November 18th is the next meeting, then the 25th, and then we've got December 9th and December 16th. So I don't know what the December meetings look like and where we want to adjourn them to, but they're okay with either meeting.
Well, that seems good right now. I think the, we'll have to talk about whether it's the time to talk about it now, we might as well, but we have to think about this November 18th meeting.
What can I say?
Things
Something
that are-
Plus Wellness just dropped off what they were supposed to drop off, the
Yeah.
site plans and everything.
Yeah, looking at everything, because the next one on the agenda is the Blessed Wellness, which again is adjourned. That's adjourned until they provided us with things, but they just dropped this off today.
The environmental commission could look at them.
So but we don't have the online versions yet, but
Yeah.
Carla's working on it. But Carla, we have that one, so that could go in November right now on the dates.
Correct.
Then the completeness, though, we're still waiting for on item 9, the completeness. They've gone very quiet, right?
Yeah,
So we
yeah,
haven't
for
got
sure.
what they needed to give us on
Right.
that one yet, but that one's still sitting there. So that
So
would
it's pushing.
mean if Bless is acceptable, we could put them in November and then put Spark in December, and then that would spread those out a little bit, which could be a really good way to do it.
Correct.
Yeah, so I mean, I think we're happy with that to move them into December. I think it would be best to put them on the 9th right now. Given that they have to provide something 10 days before that, right? So they need to provide that by the end of November. Given that they can do that, because then just in case we need to go over, we have that extra meeting. I don't want to bring an extra meeting into December.
Yep.
I'm going to be out here, so I'm not hanging around.
But can we talk about November 18th?
Yeah,
You said it's the week of the league. I don't know how many people go.
Yeah, so we officially have the 18th meeting on, but I think some of the professionals were gonna be there too, weren't they? Wasn't Bob gonna be there?
Oh, Bob, that's the only one I know.
Bob, you,
Me.
Marsha and Adrian.
I'm not going.
No.
Oh, you're not
Yeah,
going,
no.
Marsha. So would we have, is anybody else going to the league? Do we?
I guess not.
No.
I mean, if I could give my 2 cents, I mean, it's a week later. Which,
Yeah, well-
it's not the normal 2 weeks, so, if there's any question, maybe we do bless and adjourn that to the 25th.
Yeah.
Along with 3709. And adjourn Spark to the 9th of December
Yeah, and
and
if
cancel the 18th.
3709 submit their things and we can just use the 18th for completeness with a smaller board, because we can, and then we can keep good notes. We'd have to keep notes for Carla. Maybe that's a feasibility too, rather than cancelling it right now. Should
We can certainly do that.
if we
I
can't-
did reach out to Steve Gruenberg. He did confirm he hasn't submitted anything, didn't indicate when he would. So, I don't have any other update in that regard.
All right, so I guess I could contact him and say, look, if you have things in town, we could keep that open. Otherwise, we may cancel that and keep the 25th for Bless, and then Spark on the 9th. That could work. Right.
That could, and since 3709 technically doesn't need notice,
Yeah,
because that's my concern. If we cancel last minute on the 18th, we can't verbally adjourn anything unless we have a quorum. So I just want to make sure we're okay. If we adjourn 3709 to the 18th and cancel, we're fine, because again, that doesn't technically need to be adjourned if we then do completeness on that, on the 25th or even in December.
How about St. Magdalene's? I don't know.
oh, St. Max is in the pipeline as well,
Yeah.
isn't it? All right, let's think about that. I'll think about St. Max. I don't have a
was the
report from
200
Bob yet on that
fee.
one.
There was a problem with the 200 fee.
It was just one.
Hannah's house.
Yeah, but that can be dealt with on. All right, let's keep that penciled. So let me just be clear, Cara, because my brain isn't working very well today. You're saying it's better for us to notice 3709 for the 18th and then on an agenda, and then if we cancel the meeting, it can happen on the 25th with nothing we have to do if we cancel that meeting.
That is correct. That would be the only one that I would adjourn to the 18th. Again, because they don't technically need notice for either completeness or the public hearing, because there's no site plan. It's a fully conforming project and use without site plan approval. And they're doing minor site plan with waivers, but again, your minor site plan doesn't require notice. So if we're going to keep the 18th and want to schedule something for it, that would be the one. Because if we then decided last minute to cancel the 18th, it's no problem for that application, whereas it would be a problem for the other applications, if that makes sense.
The public hearings.
Correct.
Yeah. But we could probably put St. Magdalene's on the 18th if that's ready too, and that would be okay for that as well, then that's completeness. Isn't that?
Yeah, as long as yes, exactly. As long as, we're not adjourning them from today. Sure.
Well, if Bob won't be here and we want to do it, I can ask somebody else from his office to be here if we need that. So that might be that's the penciled in agenda right now. 2 completenesses on the 18th, Bless on the 25th, and Spark on the 9th. All right, so those are all 3 adjourned, 7.
All right, so hold on. So just to keep with the agenda, the Spark application is going to be adjourned without further notice to the December 9th meeting for both completeness and public hearing. And we have an extension through December 31st of this year. Bless Wellness, again, adjourned to the meeting of November 25th. They may need to renotice. I will discuss with them, but as of right now, we'll just announce that there is no new notice anticipated. There have been some plan revisions, and I'm not quite sure based upon Bob and Beth's review if they will need to renotice, but for purposes of right now, we'll just indicate no renotice and an adjournment to November 25th. And then 3709 13th Street, that is adjourned to November 18th. Just for purposes of the agenda, there's no one here, but just for purposes of the agenda, no notice is required, and we'll see what happens with regard to any receipt of additional documents that would allow it to proceed on the 18th.
Perfect, thank you. And that statement goes for item 10. I noticed we put public hearing, two things there.
Correct.
Together.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. Item 11 is the resolution 2025-16, which is resolution approving Carla as the permanent planning board secretary. This will just cover for the end of the year. Cara, for the new year, there's some things that we'll need to talk about in terms of a resolution, because we need to do something in conjunction with council that matches for HR purposes.
Okay, that's fine.
Talk about that separately, but that's
Yep.
why we just through now, because I know you were keen to get been officially permanent for the remainder of the year.
Yes.
And
It's about time. We gotta lock her in, make sure she doesn't go anywhere. We don't want to have to go out and
totally
advertise for
agree.
anybody.
but that's why it's pretty simple, and it's just literally that for the end of the year, and then we will do it again in January as we do with all our professionals, but there'll be some adjustments we'll have to make, do a slightly more convoluted resolution at that time. But having said that, can I have a motion for this? Motion to.
I'll motion.
What are we motioning?
Yeah, what are we-
Accept the
what-
resolution.
Yeah, a motion to adopt a resolution appointing Carla as permanent board secretary through the end of 2025.
I'll motion what she said.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Schlenger, second.
Mr. Swingle?
Yes.
Ms. Schlinger, Mr. Schlinger, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Mayor Carroll?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fasora?
Yes.
Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Ms. Giffen?
Yes.
Ms. Weitzman?
Yes.
Mr. Show?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Dawson?
Yes.
Mr. Eckel?
That's
Yes.
it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's your 9.
We've got enough. I know you want more votes. We all agree. Everyone, all in favour, yay! Very exciting, thank you so much for agreeing to do that. Putting up with us all, appreciate it, especially me. All right, item 11, the bills. We had some bills,
No, we did.
can I have a motion to audit the bills, please? Anybody have any questions on them? Nope. Good. Sarah, I'm trying to move quickly, Adrian, as per your ordinance. Can I get a second on that, please?
Second.
Councilwoman Fasora? Yes. Ms. Swingle?
Yes.
Mayor Carroll?
Same again, I think it's, I'm sorry.
Let's see. Mr. Campion?
Yes.
Ms. Giffen?
Yes.
Ms. Weitzman?
Yes.
Mr. Show?
Yes.
Mr. Schlinger?
Abstain.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so if we're going to executive session, I need a motion to go into executive session.
Really, Karen? Karen,
Yeah.
could I just ask a question? The St. Magdalene's one, I don't think we talked about that, but is that going to, like, I forwarded to the HPC, but you're gonna be looking for the different boards to comment, right?
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if it
think
went.
we had said, I think we very, very quickly glossed over it, Dennis. Bob needs to review it and issue his completeness letter. I don't think that's been done yet, right, Carla? I don't think we have that. Okay.
No.
Okay.
So I think we gotta see what he may need. But everything else should continue. I mean, if we have everything and the, you know, Environmental Commission, Historic Preservation, you know, can review it and continue, that's fine. So we're prepared.
Yeah. Did we had a problem did we get that online? Did they send you an electronic? version
No,
of that?
they did, but remember I'm having trouble with OneDrive, that's,
We're having a technical hitch with this changeover and.
yeah, with the email address.
So it's not online, so can we at least, can you email that to the boards? To
I did.
HMC?
We have it.
You have it,
Yeah,
oh, okay,
we
you
have
already
it.
have it.
That's why I emailed it. 'cause I
So,
put it on.
Yes, we welcome board's comments at the time when we don't need your comments for.
Okay, I maybe I misunderstood. I got it because of the planning board. I didn't, did it go separate?
Go to the other boards, yeah.
Yeah, well, if
Because I
we
had
can't
just
get it
received it.
online, we can, when we have a problem getting it up on the website,
Right.
can you just email it to the chairs of the board so that they
Just
have it?
HPC and. then
HPC, environmental,
Anybody else?
so it's not, yeah.
And I'm just
Okay,
gonna
I'll do
go
that
ahead
tomorrow.
and excuse myself from that one, assuming that yeah, okay.
Well, that's it,
Just to
Carol, let's get back into, you were really good, we seem to have, I keep forgetting to ask you that we, keep forgetting for people, if they need to recuse themselves from things, we'll have to keep reminding ourselves to do that. If you can remind me.
We can get back into that. Absolutely.
So that will come
Thank
then.
you.
So, there was a question on the side of the, regarding whether those changes will require Shade Tree taking a look at these plans for any reason.
That's what I was wondering, should we send it to Shade Tree for their comments on it?
Can send it.
Yeah, let's send it. I mean, the more comments, the better. If they're all just positive, it's all just positive,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, seems like it's a
I'll send
positive thing.
everything.
Okay. Look at that, I'm looking at the pictures. Oh, okay. All right, so that all being said, and we want to go into executive session, Cara, can you say your usual thing that we're not, you know, that we're not going to?
Absolutely. Did we get a motion in a second?
Not yet, no.
Okay, so I need a motion in a second to go into executive session to discuss items relating to potential litigation involving the Flemington Circle sign. We will not take any formal action during executive session. And do you want to return to the public? Okay, and we will not be returning to public. We'll be closing public session when we enter executive.
I'll motion.
Right, Swingle moves,
Second.
Schlenger second. Do we need a full vote or we're all in favour?
All in favor?
All in favor is fine.
All in favour?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
ayes. Oh, right, so now I need to,
You gotta
oh,
stop
and
the recording.
I haven't got Miss Doshna here. I don't wanna stop the
I
recording.
can walk you through it. You can stop, you need to stop recording and then under the participants panel, you need to hit the three dots at the bottom and lock the webinar.